Good morning, everyone. So for those not in the tri-state area or surrounding the city, I guess, it's a snow day here, and that means two things. It means one, just woke up, and number two, I'm going to make some soup. I recently did... You're doing like a behind the scenes?
Yeah, you gotta, come on, I gotta do the intro.
I can't even talk. I did a partnership with Honey Baked Ham, and actually look for my post later on today because I'm going to put it up there. I can't with this kid. Anyway, I had a bunch of ham left over and a bone, so obviously I'm going to do split pea with ham soup. Got the split peas yesterday. I got carrots, celery, onion, all the essentials. And I'm going to start right now. Follow along. The first thing that I'm going to do is on my pastifcio cutting mat, which I love because it's bendable, which means after I cut everything up, I can just slide it into the pot. I'm going to just dice up this onion. All right, so I have the heat on. I'm going to put some olive oil in the bottom of this pot just to coat the bottom. And that's it. This is why I love this mat, because I can just pick it up and slide everything in. Stir these onions. Gonna add some salt. Not a lot because obviously ham is salty and so is this chicken broth. I threw some black pepper in here too. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I have carrots that I will leave the skin on, and I'm gonna put them through my Cuisinart chopper here to shred them up. I don't feel like grating them. Grating these by hand would take forever, so I just cut the ends off. Turn this bad boy on. Ooh! Easy peasy. I'm not sure how many I'm gonna need, so I'm just gonna do 4 to start with. Might be too many, but I don't have to add it all. I have a ton of carrots in here. Yeah, I shredded way too many. Probably 3 carrots would have been plenty. All right. I have to add celery too, but if I put the celery through the Cuisinart, all those strands are just going to get clogged, so I'm going to cut it. One of my favorite parts about adding carrots is when they start to sweat and it makes the rest of the pot like this, almost like this neon yellow. It's as if you added like a ton of saffron. Oh, I love it. For the celery, I took off the outer ribs just because the inside is more tender, and I know I can buy the hearts, but when you buy the hearts, generally it's cut from about here down, and I really want the leaves because I think it adds a lot more flavor to the soup. So I'm just going to chop a little bit of the top off first, and then I just go along. And as I get closer down, I do it a lot thinner because I don't want huge pieces of celery in the soup. These will cook down anyway. I'm taking this, adding it to the pot. You see how it's a little bit dry down here? I don't want the vegetables to burn, and I want a little bit more richness. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cold salted butter, and then that'll help the vegetables cook down and it'll thicken the stock. Correction, it will not thicken the stock. I don't even know why I said that. It'll just make it a little bit more velvety. Just watch these so it doesn't burn. I'm going to turn down my heat. So I have this leftover honey baked ham, which is a ton because there was only 4 of us eating it. And I'm going to cut around here, get that bone out of there. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to get that gorgeous glaze in there because it'll make this soup too sweet. And then I'm going to just dice it up into chunks. I turned the heat down on my veggies because I don't want them to burn, and I felt like they were just starting to maybe want to burn. So I've disassembled my ham here. I'm going to take this whole chunk, this bone, throw that in the pot. So I have this cooking. I have all my ham nice diced up. I'll add that. Now I have 1 bag of split peas. It already smells so good. It's kind of hard to stir because of that bone. But next we're going to add the chicken stock. I bought the reduced sodium because ham already has so much salt in it that I didn't want the soup to be too salty. And I'm not sure if I'm going to need 2 or 3 yet. I think that I should be fine with 2 and maybe a little. Yeah, 2 will be good. Actually, maybe not. I might need 3. Yeah, I'll do 3. I changed my mind. See, this is the process with cooking. You think you're going to do one thing and then you just kind of got to feel it out. Once this comes out, it's going to reduce that down pretty far, but I don't want it to be too chickeny, so I'm just going to add some water instead of chicken broth. I'll just put some water in the containers. I'll do the same thing with the other one so that I get the leftover stock. Okay, so I just added everything in here. I'm going to let this come to a boil, then I'm going to turn it down, and I'm going to let it simmer for a few hours. All right, she's boiling. I'll let this go. Turn her down. Put a lid on her. All right. It's still going. You can see the beans have started to. Now there's a couple ways you could have done this. You could have added half the ham and then pureed it either in like a Cuisinart or done like one of those handheld blender things and then added more ham. But I like it rustic like this. So this is just going to continue to develop flavors. I just tasted it to make sure like the beans aren't hard or anything, and they're not. They're still tender, but the longer it cooks, the more deliciousness is going to come out of this bone. All right, it has been 3 hours since I started that soup, and she's basically done. I'm gonna take, you can hear my son playing video games. Oh my gosh. Okay, that I have to tell you really grosses me out. Like in a big way. All right. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this one-handed. All right. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Because that grosses me out, and I know maybe it shouldn't, I am not going to sit here and pick all that beautiful meat off of there. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Okay, I was able to salvage a little bit off of there that just kind of fell. Next thing. I need to get a ladle and skim this fat off the top. All right, so this looks beautiful. You can completely leave it as is. You can put an immersion blender, whatever you want to do. I want it a little bit thicker, so I'm going to mash together 2 tablespoons of butter with 2 tablespoons of flour, and then I'm going to whisk it in. What I'm doing with this is just continuing it to mash together. And as the butter comes up through the tines of the fork, it picks up more flour, and it just kind of all combines. All right, I have this mixture thing. Sorry, I'm so trying to do this one-handed. All right. It's going to melt into there and thicken it up nice. I also turned up the heat because it'll never dissolve properly if it's not boiling, and I don't want a dumpling. I want it to thicken, which it will once the butter and everything melts. So, can you stand this whisk that I have? It's my mother's. It's so old, but there's just something about using her stuff that I prefer. Just like when I used her knife. It's just not as good as the new stuff. All right, so you can see that now it has more of that thick texture that split pea with ham usually has. I do have more ham I can add, but I'm worried then it'll just be ham soup and not split pea with ham. Okay, she's one step away from being done. And you know what? I am going to add just a handful more of this ham because it's some of the stuff that came off the bone, and it is pretty nice. All right, this is the final step. Just a little bit of half and half for richness. That was maybe, I don't know, a quarter of a cup. Look how pretty it is. It's so velvety. It's going to be perfect for, excuse my mess. Yeah! All the white stuff. Hi. All right, guys. This is what I've graduated to. Nate's playing video games. I'm going to clean up my kitchen. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully this is the last of the nasty, nasty weather. See you later. Bye.